Let me ask you a question that managers don't always like to sit with. Have you ever made a decision that was reasonable but still triggered strong emotions? No shouting, no open rebellion, just quiet frustration, side conversations, or lingering resentment. That's not about logic, that's fairness. In the SCARF model developed by David Rock, fairness is the brain's need to feel that decisions are just, consistent, and respectful. What's important to understand is this. The brain reacts to perceived unfairness, not objective fairness. You can do the right thing and still trigger a threat response if people don't understand why. This shows up at work more often than we admit. Promotions, workload distribution, policy enforcement, recognition, access to information. When the reasoning is unclear, the brain fills the gap, and the story it fills in is rarely generous. Here's the part that's easy to miss as a manager. People don't need every decision to go their way. They need to feel respected in the process. When fairness drops, emotional intelligence spikes, but in the wrong direction. People become reactive, defensive, emotionally charged, not because they are entitled, but because their sense of justice feels violated. Fairness-aware managers do something deceptively simple. They explain the rationale, not in legal language, not in policy jargon, but in human terms. They say, here's how I thought about this. Here were the constraints I was balancing. This wasn't easy, and I want you to know how the decision was made. That transparency protects the brain. They also stay consistent. Nothing damages fairness faster than unpredictability. When rules shift depending on who's involved, the brain stops trusting the system. Consistency may feel boring, but to the brain, it feels safe. There's one more leadership habit that matters deeply here. Fairness-aware managers invite dialogue, even when the decision itself doesn't change. They listen. They acknowledge impact. They don't dismiss emotions as inconvenience, because feeling heard restores dignity even in disagreement. Here's the reframe to take with you. As a manager, you don't just make decisions. You shape how fair the world feels to the people you lead. And when fairness is protected, conflict reduces, resentment fades, and trust has space to rebuild. This completes our journey through SCARF: status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness. 5 social needs, 1 powerful insight. Emotional intelligence grows when managers work with the brain, not against the grain. Let me now bring all this together. Across the series, we've spoken about status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness. 5 words, 5 social needs. But here's the deeper insight. Your team doesn't experience you as a set of decisions. They experience you as an environment. Every day, through small moments, your team's brain is picking up signals. Am I respected here? Do I know what's coming? Do I have some control? Is it safe to speak? Was this handled fairly? That scan happens automatically, and based on it, people decide whether to lean in or quietly pull back. This is why emotional intelligence at the managerial level isn't about being softer or more agreeable or endlessly empathetic. It's about being aware of the impact you create. When status is protected, people are open to feedback. When certainty is protected, anxiety reduces. When autonomy is respected, ownership grows. When relatedness is strong, people think out loud. When fairness is visible, trust survives tough decisions. None of these require grand gestures. They show up in how you speak, how you listen, how you decide, how you explain, how you show up under pressure. Here's the shift that matters the most. As a manager, you don't just manage work. You shape the emotional climate in which work happens. And climate determines behavior long before policies or processes do. The SCARF model, developed by David Rock, doesn't ask you to control people. It invites you to work with the brain, not against the grain, to reduce unnecessary threat, to increase everyday safety, to make it easier for people to bring their best thinking to work. So here's my invitation to you as a manager. This week, don't try to fix everything. Just notice. Notice where a conversation becomes defensive. Notice where silence creates anxiety. Notice where control replaces trust. Notice where people withdraw. Notice where a decision feels heavier than expected. These moments are not problems, they're signals. And the more fluent you become in reading them, the more emotionally intelligent your management becomes. Because great managers aren't remembered only for what they delivered. They're remembered for how safe it felt to grow with them.